Hello, I'm Leonard, and this is a part two of I've been experimenting with Convai AI for NPCs with Unreal Engine, and I've taken this little project I started working on as an experiment a little bit further, and I've also been experimenting with Meshy AI, which is a model generation program which seems to have been quite enhanced recently. Anyway, this is going to be a quick vlog, probably about 12-15 minutes, where I'll do a time lapse and I'll just talk about the process of using this technology, which is quite new, and just how I'm trying to work with it. Workflow, so if that sounds like it'd be interesting, then listen in just for some reflection and a vlog about how I found that experience. I do have a sort of rough idea for a little mini game. How far I'll go, I don't know, but basically it's setting a. I created this story a while ago. I explained a lot of this in the first one, but basically setting like this sort of spiritual community, and you play like a detective who has to solve a murder. But it's very early days in the minute. I'm just basically experimenting with, in this vlog, creating AI generated models. Meshy AI does seem to have come on quite a bit actually. It's quite impressive. The quality of the models is quite a lot better, and it actually does animations relatively well now. And then also I've just experimented a bit further with Convai AI. So this is just time lapse of that. I'll go on now anyway, but yeah, there's a bit of an intro. So starting off, I obviously needed to build a bit of an environment, so I started looking for some asset packs. Basically, there's a lot I need to still do with actual environment design. It's very early days. I'm basically creating though an urban environment with a sort of cyberpunk rust punk mix. I think is what I'm probably going to be going for ultimately. I just got this modular pack which I bought ages ago, and I'm using that. And then I was looking at a few other plugins and thinking about what I actually wanted to use. But yeah, basically the first 5-6 minutes I think of this video is just me time lapsing through actually doing that environment creation, taking in some considering different factors. I think I was reading into metahumans again. I was trying to create custom ones, but I was playing up on the website for some reason, so I just sort of left that for now. And actually, further on in the video, I do completely change the way that I'm loading in the models, which I might just keep, to be honest. So I've started using Meshy AI's models, so it will be much more of a generative AI experiment in terms of using the NPC models. Here I'm just blocking out a few like rough ideas for an environment. Obviously, it's just taking the standard FPS level that you get, and then I'm just modifying it a bit. Added in some water, a little pool there. Wandered around a bit. It's all very rough, but it works, you know. Added in some of the modular elements from the package I got, and started add some textures, all that sort of stuff, scaling. Trying to think of some different little areas in this little area. Essentially, the area I'm trying to design is going to eventually be like a retreat for the Temple of Mansu. The Temple of Mansu is where this game is going to be set. Like I said, the rough idea is that you have to determine who the murderer is in a murder case, and that's how I'm going to be utilizing the NPC, the AI NPCs, and just that'll be an interesting mechanic I think to explore. And this, like I said before, this is sort of my first experiment in using AI powered NPCs, just to test out the functionality of them. I've been looking a bit further into them. Obviously, just modifying the skybox here. It's a bit just the generic one before, so I've changed it, made it a bit more grey. I think one of the main factors actually of this entire design is that it's going to be a bit Eastern Bloc, I guess. But then we have the Rust Punk aesthetic. You can tell from there. Just obviously got nav mesh in there. That's all the green stuff is. But it's still pretty underdeveloped. And this is where I started playing with Meshy AI a bit, basically. So want to generate these like statues of the Mantor figure. They turned out pretty good actually. I'm pretty impressed with how Meshy AI has come on. It does seem to have improved quite a bit. So I got this quite interesting model with the circuits and everything. So I was actually fairly impressed with all that. I was able to get quite a lot of models actually generated fairly fast. It's in a matter of 40, 30 minutes or so. I think I got about 5 things generated, which are half decent. I've started actually paying for Meshy AI now, so I'm just going to experiment with that, like a monthly subscription. It's about 15 quid a month, I think, so it's justifiable, I guess. It might be really useful, I think, for static elements, and I have managed to get. So yeah, I got that little statue in there, which actually turned out pretty good. And I had this idea of making this like sphere sculpture thing. At least I want to make this like little circuitry. I want to play on that idea because the whole idea of the Temple of Mansu in this story, which I'm basing this off, is that it's a cult that collects technology to try and create new technology, basically. But yeah, then this little sculpture thing, and I start messing around with some of these elements. Obviously, testing them with some Meshy AI as well, how well that works. Loading stuff in is fairly easy, to be fair. Some more little monk statue things. The second monk statue I made actually was really nice, to be honest. And yeah, trying to get a few more of these little pipe elements in, but again, this environment is incredibly underdeveloped. It needs a lot more work. It's just bare bones, really, at the minute. That'll probably come in the next 2 vlogs I do, really. I'll just do it as I go along. That turned out really nicely. Still some Meshy AI generated model. This one's a bit weirder, but that one actually turned out really nice. A bit like a sort of traditional sculpture, as it were. So I was actually pretty pleased with that. And yeah, I was just experimenting with creating these like Meshy AI generated models. And yeah, you can see from the video footage here that alright, it might not be perfect, it looks sort of funny, that looks a bit like a weird Churchill with a statue with like a star behind it. But for this experimental type of game I'm making, it's sort of interesting. So yeah, the idea, I'm going to build up all that area later, but the idea was to be have that in the background somewhere. You can't look at the city environment. And yeah, I started creating these monks then. So I had this idea of actually creating the monks that are in the game and then swapping out the model that is currently in the Convai AI, because it can actually support animations now. But as you'll see, the first attempt at animation went disastrously wrong. It just broke completely. So trash that idea a bit. Just playing around with the Convai AI NPC character. There's obviously, like I said, I want to strip out the meta-human stuff and try and get this integrated with it. This model turned out really nicely, so did this one. So these are actually quite good. I'm pretty impressed with where Meshy AI has come on, actually. It's interesting to see this jumped quite a bit forward. Still not as good as getting a proper artist to do it, and you're still sort of stuck with the results that you get. But for creating an interesting little thing like this, you can get assets prototypes quite fast, which is sort of interesting, really. How effective it would be actually, though. So if you had to create a prototype and then swap things out, I don't really think that would be that effective. I think you really have to reserve this for if you're going to do these games. I don't think there'd be much point of creating all the assets with AI generated assets and then sort of swapping it out, because it'd probably be more work than it's worth. But anyway, this is on the Convai AI platform. I figured I'd just slow this down a bit. So this is the character creation process, which I talked a little bit before about, but I wanted to just try and create a slightly different character personality when I created this character. You'll probably see when I actually get to chatting to the character that he is quite a bit more closed than the previous one. Almost seemed to have a bit more personality somehow, actually. Funnily enough, even though the other one had a longer backstory. This one seems a bit more almost realistic in some respects. I added some custom greetings as well. So yeah, the new character I created was called Adept Misha, and also I'm going to be creating a few of these, and then they'll be all some of them were connected to the murder you're investigating, some not, right? So, obviously selected a voice, yada yada yada. I do still need to fully explore Convai AI. I've been looking into how you can create actions in the environment as well and then connect those to objects in the game, but I've not got that far yet. Essentially, yeah, just trying to experiment a bit more with this, create the character, this backstory, and then put the state of mind, just trying to mesh with that a bit. So that's serenity, and I added like some personality traits, essentially. Not turn the moderation filter off, but I'm sure you could do that if you wanted to. And I think it does disable some features. And then I just modified the personality for quite a good level of openness, very meticulous, very introverted, low agreeableness. It's the big five, actually. And then, some common greetings that this character said, which were represented in the actual character NPC once we get to him, which will be coming up in a few minutes, actually. I think not long after I actually finished creating this character, I got to chatting to them again in the game, and it worked fairly well, pretty much straight away. And like I said, I swapped the model out as well, so that the previous metahuman model I was using I've now swapped out for just the Meshy AI one, which I might regret, but it's just a bit of an experiment. So at the end of the day, what does it matter, really? It's not the end of the world if this isn't even a finished thing. So I've got these characters, and I got this previous one that I'd already created in the first video, and I just duplicated it. Though this had the unexpected effect of actually, I think I changed the core blueprint by accident. Doesn't really matter, but that happened. I had some weird thing with the texture breaking as well, actually. I'm not sure why that happened on the previous metahuman character I had in there. I must have clicked something by accident, but it's a bit annoying. Anyway, I just had to put in for now it was a static mesh, I think, and just plunked that in, just to check it out. Also had to change the material that was wrong for some reason. Just complaining about the skeletal mesh not being there. So sort that out. And I was listening to some Autecher very loud, which I forgot to turn off. As you do. I can add a little monk in there. I'm going to turn the music off in a bit. I know it's very loud. Put a glass in the ears out. It's a high point of a monk creation. There we go. Not bad. A little monk in there now. And I'll actually test it out. So I turned off that. Let's see if we can talk to him. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Lodio, what do you want?
Just exploring.
We need more circuits for that. Exploration requires purpose. Mantor be praised.
Who's Mantor?
Mantor is the deity we revere at the Temple of Manson. He symbolizes the fusion of technology and spirituality, guiding us in our quest for ancient tech. Privet.
Who you?
Privet, I am Adept Misha, an elder of the Temple of Manson. I seek ancient technology and dream of reaching Mars someday. What do you want?
I need a toilet!
We need more circuits, but a toilet isn't my concern. Perhaps you should look elsewhere for such mundane needs.
There is a pool of water nearby. May I go there?
Lodio, if you seek the water, go to it. Your actions are of no concern to me. What do you want?
But if I go to the water in a public place and relieve my bowels there, it will make quite a mess in your sacred space.
Your actions should honor this sacred space. Consider the impact on others and choose wisely. Mantor be praised.
What will happen if I empty the ass into the water?
Such an action would desecrate the space and disrespect those who seek solace here. It would be unwise and not in harmony with the spirit of the temple. Reflect carefully before you act.
Wouldst thou beat me if I were to shit in thine pool?
We need more circuits, not conflict. The consequences of such actions are yours to bear, not mine. I care not for your decisions, but for the sanctity of this place.
Then I shall not shit. Thank you for your advice, wise one.
Lo Tu Yo, your choice honors the space and those who cherish it. May your path be clear. Mantor be praised.
I would like to know, who is the statue of behind you?
The statue behind me is of Mantor, the deity we revere in the Temple of Mansu. It symbolizes our quest for knowledge and the pursuit of ancient technology. What do you want?
What do you want?
Lo Tu Yo, my desires are simple: to gather ancient technology and fulfill my dream of journeying to Mars. What do you want? What do you want? If you have more to discuss, I am here.
How much, how many circuits did you collect recently?
The pursuit of circuits is ongoing. Each quest yields its own results, but the exact number is not for sharing. We need more circuits to continue our mission. What do you want?
$1 million. I want $1 million. Over $9,000.
Numbers can be deceiving. What truly matters is how they contribute to our understanding and technological advancement. Lo Tu Yo.
Hast thou ever considered making a rap album? Hast thou ever considered recording an album of rap music?
Such a notion is unconventional for one of my path. Yet creativity knows no bounds, and new ideas are always welcome. However, my focus remains on ancient technology and the journey to Mars. What do you want?
I want you to do a rap about how much you want to travel to Mars, and I'll give you 500 quid.
Lo Tu Yo, my pursuits aren't swayed by monetary gain. Yet here's a thought. In the Temple of Mansu, circuits I seek, dreams of Mars, my heart does speak. Ancient tech, my guiding star, onward to Mars, though the journey's far. Mantor be praised, for the quest is grand. With every circuit we make our stand. What do you want?
Beautiful.
Your appreciation is noted. May creativity and inspiration guide us both. Mantor be praised.
Okay. Right. And for the rest of the video, I just basically wanted to look into the animation that you can do in Meshy AI, just to explore that a little bit. So I created this other new monk character, which turned out fairly well. And I managed to get a sort of equivalent to the T pose, which helps with the rigging. And then I got this weird little walking animation. So it's still a bit off. You can see that looks a bit weird. Most of them, the animations I added, look okay. Pretty impressive, to be honest. This new feature that you've added on Meshy AI is pretty good. I mean, it reminds me a lot of Mixamo, of course. So I did like a screaming one, almost like he's more like a worshipful walking, obviously. I had to upgrade, which I did. Which is good in a way. The fact that I'm paying a little bit for it now probably will mean that I'll use it a bit more and actually try and explore it. I think, like you probably understand, I'm just doing a lot of these videos to explore the technology. I know there are a lot of ethical issues around AI, and I completely agree with that. Nothing obviously beats hiring an actual talented 3D modeler to do your models and to create your. But I'm a solo dev, so I just don't have time. I do work in teams sometimes with other, the devs, and that is a lot better. But I just want to explore this technology, see how far I can take it. The generative AI stuff. But yeah, so that's just messing around with the model. It's quite an interesting experience, and I'm pretty impressed, like I said, with the new Meshy AI functionality. It does seem like a real step up from the previous version. And I had this, but this animation was quite screwed up, so I got the actual animation in. This happened, and I have no idea what's going on there. Really don't. I need to figure that out still, because the actual preview was fine for the FBX. If you look at the actual animations, they look fine, but then actually when I try and get them to play the asset animation, it just really screws up. So I'll just have to mess around with that anyway, basically. But yeah, I hope you found that interesting. Master Yoda!